We are good to go. Sure, because what if like it turns off or something? Hello everyone, welcome back to today's episode. It's going to be something very different, but something extremely important and that we're both passionate about as women. We're going to be talking about the hashtag METOO movement. We're going to be talking about the Harvey Weinstein controversy and all of that. So sit tight, relax, let's get into it. 33% of women ages 18 to 34 have been sexually harassed in a work environment. The stigma and shame commonly associated with sexual assault and harassment causes many women to stay silent about their abuse. Feeling like not a lot is ever done about it, this hashtag METOO movement broke the walls down for a change. Silence empowers perpetrators of sexual assault to abuse others. Although no one should ever feel pressured to share information regarding their sexual assault, a growing number of women are taking back the narrative, breaking the silence, and using their voices, which is so amazing and so refreshing, and it just makes you see that the world is finally changing.
And also proof that journalism is a powerful tool and a way to represent your voice. What better way than Harvey Weinstein as an example? Were it not for the New York Times and the New Yorker, Harvey would still be routinely abusing and harassing women who just want a career in the field they want to work in. New York Times, Jodi, Kantor, and Twohey deserve a lot of credit for help sparking the industry-wide reckoning along with Lorena Kyndall, and I hope I'm saying that right. Their tenacity helped them to break the horrifying news of Weinstein's story, who used his power to prey on female employees in a methodical fashion. By exposing Weinstein's chronic abuse, these reporters have inspired other people to speak out, not just women, and go publicly about the cultures of harassment in a workplace.
Weinstein is facing multiple criminal investigations and possible jail time, thank goodness. Possible he better. He's been fired from his company and kicked out of Hollywood. So far, so good. Even though I'm sure Hollywood knew what was going on. He's got company, he's got a slew of big-time entertainers who are being exposed. Charlie Rose, Matt Lauer, Brett Ratner, and Kevin Spacey are just a few names being dropped and fired as other news organizations pick up where the Times and the New Yorker left off. What a great change, and get rid of these awful men. They know what they're doing and that they're just trying to hide behind people, their names, and the corporations.
What prompted Kantor's investigation into Harvey Weinstein? Her response. The Times has a massive commitment to sexual harassment reporting. I know it seems like those were just many sexual harassment stories ago, but at the time they were really a light bulb moment for the paper because it made us see visually and realize there may be a lot more buried truths here.
Definitely. I'm pretty sure as time goes by, we'll see a lot more survivors come out and share their story. It's definitely something hard to come to terms with. We could show successful examples of allegations being documented and people going on the record without apparent negative consequences. They showed that there could be accountability and impact. In those cases, it was not the world just shrugging and saying, I don't believe these women and I don't care, which is so great. Women, come out and show your power and raise your voice because we want to hear you and we're all united.
Kantor also commented, almost nobody knew the full extent of what was going on. I have sources that knew a fair amount and have still been shocked by what's come out. And my sense is that people had more of a vague awareness. Kantor also commented, we lack a common definition of sexual harassment. You take Weinstein, for example. One of the revelations is that the casting couch is a form of sexual harassment. For a long time, people in Hollywood didn't think of it that way. They wrote it off and they accepted it as part of the culture. And it's a very valid point. Everyone's heard of the casting couch. It was accepted.
It's so awful.
It really is. It was a Baldwin brother.
The New York Times wrote an article and said, do the settlement of these cases hurt the cause of exposing and bringing us to a place of real change? When women take money and are silenced by that money, even though they took the money and were silenced because they were told beyond the money it was the right thing for them to do, keep quiet, don't make too many waves, it's going to hurt your career. When they do it, nonetheless, does it set back the cause of change? That's an issue, I think.
If women are going to want to make change, you have to stop taking settlement money because that's how nobody hears about it.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, what a great point. Exactly. If you start out, share your story, and then you go silent because they paid you off, the money's great and everything, but wouldn't you rather have a lasting impact? It also depends on their circumstances. At what point did Harvey Weinstein become aware of her reporting? We heard from a widening circle of lawyers and PR people and crisis managers from nearly the beginning. By the end, he was trying to exert overwhelming force on the Times. He threatened to sue us. He had a large team coming at us. We were getting phone calls constantly. And that was only the stuff that was overt. There were a lot of behind the scenes attempts at suppressing the story. It's an honor to do this work. We always say to people that we can't change what happened to them in the past, but we need to be able to put what happened to them to some constructive purpose.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it has felt as though we're standing in a river of pain, and I don't want to diminish that, but there have also been moments of recognition and hope and connection. The question now is whether or not private pain can be turned into collective strength, and I think that statement is so powerful. You can definitely use negative experiences, of course, once you come to terms with them, give them as an example to people so everyone can learn from that and we can get better in the future.
Sometimes that's how you heal. Investigation by New York Times reporters into allegations of sexual misconduct against Harvey Weinstein that led to the downfall of the Hollywood mogul is to be made into a film where such misconduct has been perceived as systematic, but also within a wider world. The film will not focus on the producer and his alleged victims, but instead of the journey towards the publication of Kantor and Twohey.
That's good, because you don't want him to become like famous from that.
To be distracted by wanting to know the gossip versus hearing what really is problematic in the world.
So I'm glad that they're taking it through that angle.
The phrase #MeToo has been one of the most viral and powerful occurrences in social media history. MeToo movement was first sparked back in 2009 by activist Lorena Burke. This phrase went viral after actress Alyssa Milano revealed that she too was a survivor of sexual harassment, empowering other women to share their experiences on social media, creating awareness.
I love Alyssa Milano, and she has been so involved in all of these movements. I follow her on Instagram, and she's always posting about the different protests she attends and how she speaks to survivors, and it's just so amazing. I feel like a very dismissive phrase I hear about this subject is it cannot all be true and oh, I don't really believe it. But I think this movement helped people to see that it wasn't as small as people dismissed it to be, that it's a real thing happening.
Absolutely.
And it's not just urban legends.
Right, it was visually, sometimes you can say it happens, when you visually see it, you can't ignore it.
Milano said on Twitter that anybody who had been sexually harassed or assaulted should reply to her tweet with "Me Too" in order to give a proper visualization of the problem on October 15, 2017. The ensuing power of the hashtag continues to be felt as women and men use the Me Too hashtag across media platforms to enlighten our culture on existing problems. And that's amazing. Like, that brought together so many people, and since that began, a lot of people have been sharing their stories of sexual harassment, sexual assault, that doesn't even have to do with the entertainment industry. In daily life, that's definitely brought a whole new perspective on the problem. Numbers. When it comes to phenomena like the hashtag MeToo movement, they are important. They show a lot of different things. How powerfully something resonated. These numbers show what many people already knew, that people all over the world experience sexual harassment and assaults, and every culture needs to do something about it. The unexpectedly widespread nature of hashtag MeToo has translated around the world in 85 different countries in 2017. And the French were actually discussing a similar idea before MeToo took off, with a hashtag called Balanced ton pork, literally translated, expose your pig. A request for sexual assault and harassment sufferers to reveal their abusers, and I think that's such a great hashtag because those men or the people that are creating these assaults and these harassment problems really are pigs.
Once hashtag MeToo joined the party, it was picked up on every continent. 500,000 people responded to Milano's tweet in the first 24 hours, and by the end of November, Twitter confirmed that over 1.7 million tweets had been made worldwide. Those numbers still continue to grow. And that's just Twitter. Other social media platforms saw a massive hashtag MeToo trend. Facebook revealed to CBS News that in 24 hours after Milano's tweet, 12 million posts and comments went up. That's 45% of all US users who had friends who had posted hashtag MeToo. The entire point of the hashtag MeToo phenomenon was to make the scale of sexual harassment and assault worldwide highly visible, not just talked about, and it has, and perhaps made history in ways that nobody predicted. How many people have posted hashtag MeToo since October? 19 million.
A lot of people, making it widespread and making sure people know about it.
Right. Not great that there are 19 million, but it's nice that we can connect with our suffering and be able to heal each other and have conversations and know that you're not alone.
And move forward. Now, we know that this is a hard topic to talk about. It's definitely something that is going to change everything. The world as we see it. Refreshing to know that it's happening now. Something different, but enlightening. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a like. Subscribe to our channel for more content every Thursday. But we love you guys so much. And
Arrivederci.
bye.